Hello, hello. I am Laura and this is Blue Mushroom Studios and we are going to be making mushroom garland today. I used to make this and sell it in my online store, which I no longer run. So I have a few videos of these on my TikTok channel and everyone lately has been asking me, how do you make the mushroom garland? So we're going to do a quick tutorial about it. This piece of garland has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mushrooms. You can make as many as you want. You can space them out as however you want them, if you want them closer together or further apart, whichever. I'll show you how to adjust for that later. We're going to make a couple of mushrooms and then I'll show you how to connect them all. And because they're super easy to make, these actually I attach the two pieces together when I'm putting these together. And it's super, super easy. A lot less tying on and weaving in ends. Just makes it one good piece. I do have to apologize. I don't have any of these styrofoam balls on hand. I thought I did and I cannot find them for the life of me. But the spots on my mushrooms are just these styrofoam balls you can get at the Dollar Tree. Or any craft store, and I just dip them in glue and put them on here. So the mushrooms we're going to be making today, I apologize, are not going to have dots because I just don't have it, but that's all there is to the dots. You can use whatever you want to. If you want to paint them on, or I've seen some people take a hot glue gun and take wax paper and put the little dots of hot glue and then paint them white and glue those on. So you can get however crafty you want to do with the dots, but I'm just going to show you the crochet part. So to get started, what you're going to need is you're going to need a hook. I'm using my 5mm crochet hook. You're going to need 2 colors of yarn. This is my stem color, the white of worsted weight, medium, size 4 yarn. And then your mushroom cap color, which is I'm using red, also medium weight, worsted weight yarn. So I have 2 colors. And again, you can make these any colors. If you want to make all different colors for your mushrooms, you can do that. And then you'll need scissors, a yarn needle for weaving in ends, and as I said, your hook. So you're going to start with your slip knot. And we're going to basically be working our mushroom cap first, and we're going to work these in the round. So if you have never worked in the round before, I do have a video about working in the round and increasing and decreasing stitches, but I'm going to obviously go slow so you can watch. I'm going to be working with also a half double crochet, and we'll get to that part. First, you're going to want to work in a circle. Now, if you use a magic circle and you're good at using magic circles, you can do that. Go ahead and do your magic circle and 8 half double crochets into your magic circle. I'm going to use a chain 4 circle. It's just an easier circle for me, something I've always used, and I rarely change my ways. So I chain 4, and then I'm going to go back into this first stitch to close my circle with a slip stitch. Just go all the way through it like that, and then chain up 1. All right, now I'm going to do 8 half double crochets into the center of this circle. A half double crochet is just wrapping around, going through the center, pulling through. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to pull through all 3 of those at the same time. Okay? Wrap around, go in, pull out all of these. You have 3, pull through all 3. Okay, this makes number 3. This makes number 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. All right, and then you're going to close your row. Anytime you work in your round, you got to close your row. So I'm going to go into the first half double crochet. I'm not going to go into my chaining up. I'm going to go into my first half double crochet. I'm going to pull through with a slip stitch. That's going to close my row. I'm going to chain up 1 to start a new row. Pull that tight if you'd like. And then we're going to do an increase every other stitch for our second row. So there's 4 rows to our mushroom cap. There's your first row where you do 8 stitches, your second row where you do increase every other stitch, and then we don't increase either of these. They're just stitch for stitch. And this row on our increase is going to give us our cup shape, and then this is going to give us our consistent like bell shape. So go back into this first stitch with a half double crochet, 1 stitch in that one, and then we're going to put 2 stitches in this second stitch here, and I'm working in both loops. So we're going to wrap around, go into the stitch, pull through, and pull through all 3 of those. We've completed our first stitch for this one. Now we're going to do it again, and we're going to go back into this same stitch that we were in and do another half double crochet and complete that stitch. The next one we're just going to do 1 stitch, and the next one we're going to do 2 stitches. So go through and pull all the way through your stitch and complete it, and then do another stitch into that same one. Okay, 1 stitch in this one, and 2 stitches in this one. Complete your stitch, complete your second stitch, 1 stitch in this one, 2 stitches in this one. Oh, sorry, I did a puff stitch. Sorry. I actually had to scratch a whole video because I was doing puff stitches rather than completing 2 stitches. Okay, so yarn over, go in, pull through, complete that stitch, do a whole other stitch, 2 stitches in that one, and then on our last stitch, we're just going to do 1 stitch. Okay, now you can kind of see that this has created a nice little bowl or cup. And when you work in the round, the outside actually starts to go on the inside, and you're going to want to occasionally pop it out so you can see what it looks like. Let's close up our row. I got ahead of myself here. So we're going to go back into this first half double crochet stitch, and not your chain up stitch. Don't go into that one. Go into your first half double that you made on the row, and you're just going to slip stitch it all the way through, which means you're going to just go through all of it at once. Chain up 1 to start a next row. So we've completed our only row that we're going to do increased stitches on, and now we're going to do stitch for stitch in each row. So you go back into your first stitch, go into your second stitch, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry, my yarn's not feeding, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then you're going to close. Go back into that first half double crochet here, not your chain stitch, don't go into that one. Go back into your first half double crochet, slip stitch it all the way through. We're not going to yarn over or anything, and then chain up 1 for your next row. See how we're creating this gorgeous little mushroom cap. We're going to do 1 more row. We're going to half double crochet into each stitch, no increases. We're happy with the size we have, unless you aren't. If you want to make it bigger, you keep increasing. Sorry, I gotta keep pulling my yarn. Let me just get some yarn here. Okay, yarn over, go through each stitch, until you get and close up your row. over to the end. We are going to close our row by going back into the first half double of that row. And now we're going to clip our yarn, give yourself a little tail to weave in, and we're going to pull it all the way through. And then we're going to weave in our end. Sorry, I can't pick up these with my nails. Okay, so we're going to take our yarn needle and we're going to weave this in. We're going to first make sure this is all nice and tight, so I kind of go back around that stitch a couple of times. Make sure it's good and anchored in. This is the inside of the mushroom cap, which happens to be on the outside because when we work in the round, our inside work is on the outside, works inside out. So I'm going to go ahead and just weave in my ends with my yarn needle. I'm going to do a few back and forths just to make sure it's really good and in there. I prefer to use a yarn needle because I can really get it in those tight spots, because the tighter the area that it goes through, the better hold you're going to have. And so I just take it all the way up to the top. That way if it does fray out, it stays in the cap and nobody ever really sees it. Okay, I'm going to leave my ends on here. I forgot, that's the other reason you want to take your, weave it all the way up. Oh wait, no I'm not, never mind. I'm on a different project. My brain had a little, so we can just go ahead and cut this off. It's in there, it's good. Let's cut this one. Now we're going to weave in this one up the top. Alright, and then I like to, on these circles, obviously we're just going to keep going around and around on these circles until we got enough in there that we feel like it's not just going to slip out if there's any tug on it. Okay, clip that off. Alright, you have your first mushroom cap. Now I'm gonna show you how to make the stem. Okay, so we're gonna use our stem color, which I'm using white. We're gonna start with our slip knot, and essentially what we're gonna do is we are gonna take our cap and we're gonna lay it right here, and we're gonna chain until we feel we have the length we want. So what you do is you just chain away and then you measure it. Am I at the top? And I'm at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to put one more in there just to make sure. That's generally how I measure my stems. I'm like, yep, that seems right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stitches for the length that I want. If you want them to be longer or shorter, you can definitely adjust that. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to basically be going back and forth, and then I'm going to wrap them and whip stitch them together. So what I want to do is I want to create a bell. I want the top of my stem to be thinner than the bottom part of my stem. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to slip stitch up a few stitches, and then I'm going to start increasing my stitches. I'm going to slip stitch and then do a single crochet, half double crochet, probably just half double crochets. So slip stitch, slip stitch, slip stitch, slip stitch, slip stitch, half double, I'm sorry, single, single, half double, half double, half double, all the way down. Okay, so that's going to be the pattern to give us an increase, which is going to give us the bell shape to our stem. So slip stitch is going into your chain, pulling through, and then pulling through that other one too. Okay, no extra yarning over or grabbing more yarn, just keep pulling it through. And that is a slip stitch. So we're going all the way down. Okay. Oh, I did a slip. I kept going further than I wanted to go. Okay. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slip stitches. Now I'm going to do a single crochet. So single crochet is you pull through and then you yarn over again and you pull through both of those. Okay? We're going to do 2 of those. So pull through, yarn over, and pull through both of those. Okay? Now the rest are going to be half double crochets. So half double, half double, half double, and a half double. All right, and then you're going to chain 1 for your turn stitch because we're working in a block. See how that gives us kind of a bell shape for our stem. And all we did to create that was just increase our stitch type, our stitch. So we did slip stitches, 2 single crochets, and then the rest half double, and that gives us a nice little bell. If you want it to bell more, then you just do less half doubles and then maybe do 2 double crochets, and then it'll give you a really nice fat chunky stem. Okay, so we did our chain 1 to turn. Now we're going to turn, and we're going to do that again. So where I did half doubles, we're going to continue our half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to scrunch down and do our singles. 1, 2, and then we're going to do our slip stitches the rest of the way down. 1, 2. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you do more half doubles or less, it doesn't have to be. I mean, this is a very forgiving pattern. I'm not a perfectionist. Okay, and then we're going to just slip stitch the rest of the way down our stem. And then we're going to do 1 more row. Okay, chain and turn, slip stitch down, slip stitch, slip stitch. And then single crochet, half double, half double, half double, and half double. All right, now that is our stem. Like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a long tail because we're going to use this to whip stitch up this side of our stem. Okay, so we've got a long tail and we've got our yarn needle. And then we're going to, see how it's like this? We're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to just whip stitch through our stitches like this. See how I'm going through 1 loop of the foundation chain and 2 loops of the stitch like this, and it's giving me a nice little kind of a tube shape stem. And we're just going to keep whip stitching all the way up. Just grab that first chain on the foundation and just go all the way up. There really should only be 3 loops that you're going through. It gets a little trickier at the end because the stitches are smaller. Going through this one. All right, now we're at the end. I need to tuck in this tail. And I like to just, I don't know, take it all the way as far as I can up here. All right. Give that a nice tug so it's not super, all right, and then we're going to go ahead and just cut off our strings, and there's our stem. Now to connect, once you have done this and you've made all of the ones that you want to make, I would make all of these first because you're going to use your chain, and you don't have to use the same color as your stem, but I'm going to show you how to connect these to your chain. So once you have all of them done, however you want to make them, you're going to take your chain, and we're just going to chain them together, and I'm going to show you how I connect them together. So you start out with 10 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is, let's do 20. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is going to be like, essentially you're making a loop so you can hang your garland on something, right? Sorry, I realized I navigated up here. Do 10 chains. And then you're going to connect back. You're just making like essentially a giant circle. And then you're going to slip stitch it together. Okay? Then what you're going to do is at this first loop, and you can chain some more if you want to chain more. If you don't want your first mushroom right on the very beginning of your garland loop, you can keep chaining just a little bit more. So you can put in a couple more chains and go down. I like to do it right at the top so that when I weave this in, I can just weave it right into the mushroom. Okay, so here's how you attach it. What you do, because it's two separate pieces, right? You're going to put your hook right into the mushroom, right into the center circle, like this. And then you're going to pop that on. You're going to find, you know, the top of it and go through, you're essentially going right through the middle of the top of the stem, okay? Then you're going to pull your hook back through your mushroom, just slightly, not too far, but just pull these two that you grabbed just to the top of the mushroom, and then you're going to chain through it with a slip stitch. You're going to pull that loop through it, and then you're going to pull through with your slip stitch, and now you're connected. And then you're going to just repeat that process when you keep adding more stems. I did notice that it's been a while since I've made these, and I don't have a written pattern for them to follow, so I had to kind of just wing it. But my original stems are definitely a lot wider. And so I think what I did, this stem is thinner. If you want to keep going with what we did, if you like the thinner stems and this is fine for you, then I completely understand. Keep going and go with it. These stems that I made originally are a little wider, and I think it's because I didn't do slip stitches in these. I did single crochet. So if you're thinking back on how we did this, and we did slip stitches up the row and then half doubles, just do single crochets and then half doubles, leave out the slip stitch. That is where I did differently. And I think these are only 10 stitches long. They're not quite 12, so I did 12 there. So if you want it, that's kind of how you can really make this your own, however you want your mushrooms to look. Just adjust your stitches. So if this is a little shorter, and so as the mushroom cap sits on there, then all you see is the fat chunky side, and that's because the stem is shorter. So you can just do like I said, this is probably about 10 stitches, whereas this is 12. And then I did a skinnier stem with slip stitches increased to half doubles, where here I think I only did single crochets and then half doubles on the end. So you can really adjust the combination of stitches to accommodate the look that you're going for. The bell of this pretty much always stays the same. And then what you're going to do is, after you get it on, you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then again, you're going to adjust this to however long you want separation between your mushrooms. This is what 10 stitches looks like. You can go more and do 20. I think I have, let's see, let's compare these two. I think I've got 15, maybe 18, I don't know. But just adjust that to however, to your preference. But you're just chaining between, and then you're just going to go do it again. You're going to go into the center of your mushroom, rewind the video and go back and look at how we attached it, and just keep going. And then, like I said, you can do whatever you want to do for the dots. If you want to sew them on, I'm going to show you a quick little way that you can do this, and it just requires more yarn and more but this is how you can do a bulky. If you want to keep the yarn, if you don't have anything that you want to work with, you just do 3 chains. You go back into the first chain, you pull through with a slip stitch, cut your yarn, and just keep pulling that all the way through. Tighten it up, pull all your strings together, and see how that makes a little boop. And then you take you can just use this with your, I would suggest doing this before you attach them on. That way you can really work inside your mushroom cap a little easier. And then you just pull that tight, and look, you have, and then you can just tie this on like this. So you can make a ton of these and just tie them on if you don't have anything that you want to use otherwise. And then you can either weave those ends in, dab a little glue, and just cut them off. If you don't want to weave the ends in, just dab a little glue right there to hold that knot and snip those puppies off. And then there's you a nice little dot for your mushroom. So that's an idea there. And then you just connect these. So that's how you make the mushroom garland. Again, you're really going to customize this based on how long you want your garland to be, and how far apart you want them. But essentially, those are the tips to get the mushrooms made and then connect them all together. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments, or catch me on one of my TikTok lives. Please subscribe so that you're notified of my additional tutorials that I put up. I try to put up at least one a week. If there's something else you'd like to see a tutorial on, please leave me a comment and let me know. I'm always looking for ideas for tutorials. And catch me on Instagram or TikTok, and I would love to get to know you and see your projects. I love to see what people are making. So if you ever make a video of your work, just tag me in the comments. You don't have to give me credit anywhere. I'm not looking for recognition on anything. I just want you to tag me in the comments so I can see your work. I'd love to see what you guys make with the things that I show you here. So have a great day, and I will see you again soon.